Breaking. Blast rocks Capitol, 1 dead so far. It's expected for those who work in politics to be the target of attacks, both verbal and physical. That's the entire reason for the Secret Service and special protection units for those controversial figures. What isn't expected is that the innocent citizens who happen to live and work in the same area with no political affiliation might be hurt in the fallout. Unfortunately though, sometimes physical proximity to politicians is enough to get you hurt or even killed in today's violent political climate. We've seen it happen time and again where a deranged true believer for the other side takes out his rage against a political figure, and others are hurt in the process. Of course, it would be great if no one lashed out in violence at all, but they do, and sometimes all you can do is pray and try to defend yourself. That was the case with a family in the Texas capital city of Austin today. A regular family received a package, and their 17-year-old brought it inside and opened it, causing the entire kitchen to explode. Fox News reports that at least 2 people are injured and that the blast is thought to be one of a series of blasts all related to the same source. A teenager was killed and at least 2 women were seriously hurt after a pair of explosions rocked homes in Austin on Monday, just 2 weeks after a separate blast which authorities said is linked to at least one of Monday's incidents. Austin police said they received a call about the first explosion in a neighborhood on the northeast side of the city around 6:45 a.m., after the 17-year-old resident found a package on the front step, brought it inside, and opened it in the kitchen where it exploded. It is very similar to the incident that occurred in Austin on March 2, Austin Police Chief Brian Manley told reporters. Manley said authorities don't believe the package came from a delivery through the U.S. Postal Service or private mail carriers, and the placement on the home's front doorstep also indicated a similarity to the blast earlier this month. There are similarities that we cannot rule out that these 2 items are, in fact, related, Manley said. The Austin Travis County EMS tweeted that a teenage male was killed and a woman in her 40s was taken to the hospital. Manley said she had non-life-threatening injuries. FBI agents could be seen going around the neighborhood, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives said it responded to the scene. But just minutes after Manley's news conference finished, a separate explosion was reported around 11:49 a.m. in the Montepolis neighborhood, located southeast of downtown Austin. That blast left a woman in her 70s with life-threatening injuries, officials said. The Austin Travis County EMS said on Twitter a second woman in her 80s was being treated for an unrelated medical issue. Authorities have not yet said if this incident is related to the prior 2 package bombings, but fire officials, SIC, said on Twitter the third explosion also involved a package. Manley said the blast bore a resemblance to the March 2 explosion that killed 1 man. In that incident, 39-year-old Anthony Stefan House was killed after a device exploded on the front porch of his home in the city's northeast Harris Ridge neighborhood about 12 miles north of Monday's blast. Both explosions occurred in the early morning hours. House's death was initially called a homicide, but police last week said it was considered a suspicious death because officials hadn't ruled out the possibility the victim may have constructed and accidentally detonated the device himself. Manley said that case has now been reclassified as a homicide as of Monday. Austin police said they've determined the device was inside a package, and are working with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives to reconstruct the item and learn who may have created it. Manley said they've determined what the device was, but they aren't releasing details to protect the integrity of the investigation. Police are also asking residents in the Austin area if they do find a package on their doorstep that they were not expecting, to not open it and call 911 to have authorities examine it. "We will not tolerate this in Austin," Manley said. "This isn't something that should be tolerated anywhere in the United States, no matter the motivation. Whether it's officially branded as terrorism, it's definitely manipulating the feelings of citizens by causing terror and has to be stopped. It's as yet unclear what the motivation of the bomber are, but whether he's politically motivated, or just your general run-of-the-mill psychopath, anyone who does what they've done needs to have a prison cell with their name on it. If I were this bomber I would be shaking in my boots," Because if you've spent any time in Texas, you know that law enforcement is serious when they say don't mess with Texas, and that's exactly what this crazy person has done.